Hey, Merry Christmas. And on that note, let's do a chord melody on a nice, simple Christmas song. But before we jump into this Christmas song, I'm just going to talk through the chord progression. We start with a C major seven, and we're in the key of C major, going to a C7, which we refer to as a secondary dominant because that chord belongs to the key of F, which is the four chord in the key of C major. Then we go to a B flat seven chord, and that's sort of like, where did that come from? It comes from the parallel minor key. It comes from the key of C minor. It's not the only time that's going to happen. And then C major seven again, C7, the secondary dominant, the four chord, secondary dominant leading to a four chord, secondary dominant. I shouldn't say the secondary dominant. Secondary dominant leading to the four chord. And then four minor, which comes also out of the parallel minor key. And then we have a 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5. Lots of different stuff that we can do in here. In the B section, we have a 2, 5, and then we're going to take this here and just make it a one chord. So we're going to go G minor 7, C7, and F. G minor 7, C7, and F. And then we go up a tone, A minor 7, D7, and we're going to change this to G7 because it's just, easier to do 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, over and over. And then we have another 2, 5, 1, and then we're back to the top, and I'll talk you through as we go along. So I hope you have your guitar in your lap. That's the way this works. If you're coming here without a guitar in your lap, I would very strongly advise get a guitar, tune it up, and off you go. Okay. So we start with. I'm just playing that as a 9 chord, which is the same as a 7 chord. And then this is F major 7. I'm just playing only the top 3 notes of this bigger chord. And then B. I'm playing that as a B9, right? B7. And then getting the melody. Let's take that from the top. F minor, borrowed from the parallel minor key. And then we have this turnaround. Right, I'll play that in. Bit of a hokey turnaround, but that's cool for now. Okay, let's take that from the beginning. We'll deal with that later. Repeat that. Okay, so you've got the idea. Now let's take the second section, and I'm just going to play the chords. And then we go up a tone. Okay, so let's do those chords because the melody comes out of those chords. So it's a 2, 5, F major. We could do that too, and then we just move exactly that same progression up to Fres. G7 this time. do. This is an A minor 11, getting that melody on top. And A minor with the melody on top. And D13 with the melody on top. And D9 with the melody on top. And then a G13 with now a G augmented. That leads to where we want to go. That minor. Oh, right, the turnaround. There's our tritone, just an abbreviation of a G7 chord, and then C. Okay, we didn't quite get the melody up here. We'll just keep it simple. I could add the 2 and the 5 together. Now we're up a tone. G7. Minor 11, D13, minor, A minor, D13, and G13. And then we start again, right? You could play, there are different pathways you could play it like. But you get the idea, right? The first place to start is just make sure you can get through the chords. Now let's deal with this turnaround. Okay, so here's an optional turnaround. Since we're sort of referring to that parallel minor key, let's do a turnaround that's sort of in parallel minor. There's the relative major to the parallel minor. Or 13 flat 9. So that would come here. I'll just do this quickly. Minor. There's just a whole bunch of different turnarounds you could do there. Here's another one, E minor, E diminished, D minor, D diminished. That works really nicely too. There are dozens that we can do in positions like that. A turnaround, especially when it's a turnaround like this, there's no melody happening there. The melody has already been established, so it gives you a whole bunch of room to do different stuff. Now, we could make this a lot more complicated, but I'm not going to. The idea is to get melodies like this underneath your fingers and remember that harmonizations, when you're looking at a lead sheet like this, they always change. You could look at a half a dozen lead sheets and you'll have a half a dozen different harmonizations. So that's why I'm sort of changing a couple of things to make it, to simplify things. We have, remembering what we did up here, we just did a basic 2, 5, 1, right? You can almost hear that melody in there. And then same thing, right? And then augmented. Okay, good. I'll leave you with that. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to just ear your way through the melody to begin with. That's really helpful. Another thing that's really helpful is just comp. As if you're comping for another player, like that kind of idea. And then once you feel comfortable comping and you move the chords around a little bit, then start to put the melody on top of the chords. Oh, and when you're comping, listen for the melody. Somebody that really comps well will always know where they are with the melody. It's like a good drummer. A good drummer that plays for singers will always know where the melody is just as well as the singer does. Okay, that's it. Merry Christmas. Thanks for stopping by. I hope this will lead you to digging in a little bit and trying to experiment and discover how much fun chord melody is. And this will give you something to do around the tree. Okay, thanks a lot, and see you soon.